Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? My name is Meg Moonbeam, and welcome back to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. How's everybody feeling with these very intense astrological transits that we're having right now? Sun opposite Pluto this week, and I really felt guided to go live today. I was going to go live yesterday, so sorry for everyone that was looking forward to me going yesterday, but I'm here now. Things happen in these crazy times, and I felt really guided to do a live video speaking on this Sun-Pluto opposition that we're having this week, the week of July 21st. It's July 23rd as I'm filming this video, for the whole collective and for all the 12 signs, because this is very intense and I think it's a very important aspect for us to be paying attention to and working with if we want to be in alignment with the Western astrology. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope you're all doing very well. Before I get into it, I want to mention, as always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube and my Rumble channels. And if you'd like to have a personal astrology reading with me or check out my astrology or meditation courses or workshops, those are in the description box of this video. So, Sun-Pluto opposition. And I just realized I don't have the chart on my slide deck. Let me just bring up the chart for today. And let's take a look at that. For anyone that's joining in live, or even if you're listening to the replay, I'd love to hear how you're all feeling at the moment, because for me, I'm just going to keep it real with you guys, feeling very intense energies with this Sun-Pluto opposition and with this full moon in Capricorn that we just came out of. So I'm definitely feeling it. I'm definitely feeling some challenges come up. Some things that this Sun-Pluto opposition is really making me pay attention to. So we're going to talk about what this means for the whole collective and also talk about each of the 12 signs. Barbara says, your meditation with Janine was wow. Well, thank you very much, Barbara. Nomi says, exhausted. Yeah, I've been feeling that tiredness as well. Tracy, hello Tracy, says, I feel fine, better than around Capricorn moon. Happy to hear that you're feeling fine and better. Yeah, a lot of you guys are feeling some funkiness. Silk420 says there is a lot of funk in the air. And Deanna says, unsettled for sure, weirdest energy. Yeah, it feels like a really, really weird energy. So thank you guys so much for sharing. Swan Davis says, very emotional. Yep, Pluto is a very emotional and passionate planet, so we can definitely be feeling really emotional. So let's look at the chart for today. So yesterday, when I was originally going to do this live, was the exact Sun at 0 degrees of Leo in opposition to Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Today, July 23rd, we've got the Sun ingressed into 1 degrees of Leo, and still, of course, Pluto retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is a crazy, intense week. This is a crazy, intense astrological time that we are in right now, because not only did we just have Mars-Uranus-Algol conjunction last week, not only did we just have a very crazy full moon in Capricorn on Sunday, July 21st, conjunct Pluto, but now we've got Sun-Pluto opposition for this whole next week, which is another one of the most intense aspects in Western astrology. And one of the reasons why I think I was feeling really guided to go live with this is because, we have Sun-Pluto oppositions annually every year, but this is the Sun in his home sign of Leo. So in his most powerful position, right? Sun, 1 degrees of Leo, at home, feeling good. In an opposition to Pluto at critical degree, 0 degree of Aquarius, retrograde. So it's the Sun in his home sign and Pluto at critical degree in Aquarius. So this is a very strong energetic opposition, where oppositions are, of course, points of tension, Pluto being the most intense planet in astrology, the ruler of the underworld and the dark side of life. So in the collective, we're seeing, how I'm looking at it is this sun in Leo in his home sign is at his most powerful position in the Western astrology and is like shining a very bright light on Pluto, 0 degrees of Aquarius, what that means for the collective. And also for each of us in our personal lives, wherever we have 0 degrees of Virgo, it's like that sun in Leo is shining a light on it. There's something that we need to be paying attention to in that area. And this is really a week of shadow work, shadows coming to the surface. This would be a very good week to do shadow work. Okay. And I'm actually going to do this live a little bit different than usual. I'm going to let my Scorpio come out. I'm going to let my loving Scorpio stinger come out. And when I do the 12 sign readings, I'm going to give it to you guys totally straight, which I usually do, but this is a Sun Pluto opposition. So I'm going to, and some of you guys might not be happy with what I have to say, but I'm going to be totally honest to each of the 12 signs about what it is, what areas of life you need to be paying attention to, what you might have fears coming up around, where your shadows may be really coming to the surface at this moment. Okay, so I'm going to be in my Scorpio. I'm ruled by Pluto. And, I think that's also why I'm one of those people really feeling it like very, very intensely because I'm ruled by Pluto. I'm a Sun in Scorpio, born in Pluto in Scorpio generation, right? So let's talk about what this means for the collective. As I'm sure everybody has heard, we just had the Trump assassination attempt. And now we've just had Joe Biden, or whatever that is, playing the role of Joe Biden, stepping out of the presidential race. Sun opposite Pluto can be leaders losing their positions of power. Leo is about leadership. Sun in Leo. Pluto is also about power and leadership, right? So people losing their positions of power. And also Pluto is the ruler of death. Okay. So there's been rumors, today and yesterday that Joe Biden might not even be alive anymore, or that he's in the process of dying. And that was actually, I made a prediction with the full moon in Scorpio. I said, we're either going to see the death of a president or a major president of the United States of America or other country lose their position of power. Now, part of my prediction was true because Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. And I did say that it would probably be an American politician, but I'm also feeling strongly that we haven't seen that death happen yet. There's been a few prominent geopolitical figures that I've heard die in the past few days, and I don't want anybody to die. Okay, just saying. But Lou Dobbs passed away. Some people, when I was doing my daily astro show earlier today, said that a past president passed away today. Is that true, you guys? I didn't have time to look into that, but let me know in the live chat or the comments below if you know of any politicians or geopolitical figures that have passed away in the past few days, because I think we have not seen the big one yet. And I think that is still to come this week, especially not just with that full moon in Capricorn we just had, but the Sun Pluto opposition. So, Pluto can have a lot to do with not just the dark side of life and secrets and all that Scorpio stuff, but politics, right? Because Pluto rules power and what we do with that power. And with the Sun in Leo shining a light in opposition to that Pluto, it's exposing the leaders, it's exposing the governments, it's exposing very strong, because remember, it's at critical degree in Aquarius, geopolitical information, but also anything that Aquarius rules in life, right? Pluto, 0 degrees of Aquarius. And what does Aquarius rule? I'm going to just have fun with you guys and test you guys in the live chat. What does the sign of Aquarius rule in Western astrology? Let's see if anybody, I know Tracy's in the chat. Who else is in the chat? Tim is in the chat. I see some people in some of my soul family in the astrology courses are in the live chat. So I'll just give a sec for anybody to say what Aquarius rules in astrology, because whenever we have something, a planet at 0 degrees, it's the strongest expression of that sign, right? Judith says air and thought. Yes. Jen says electricity. Yes. Fun feeds technology. Yes. And Melissa says technology innovation. Yeah, you guys got it. Oh, good. You guys know your astrology. That's awesome. ET, social media, humanity, revolution. Sil says being weird. Haha. Yeah, really good point, Sil. I'm happy that you said that. Aquarius rules weirdness, funkiness, shocks and surprises, things that are weird. And could it get any more weird right now? Catherine says community. Teresa says crypto. Yeah, you guys are all right. Fantastic. So it's interesting because we had in the past few days, global IT outage shows dangers of the cashless society, right? So we had that major CrowdStrike global IT outage right before this exact sun opposite Pluto. There was still a sun opposite Pluto going on, but it wasn't the sun in his home sign of Leo yet. Also, Mars conjunct Uranus we've been having can be technological outages as well. So it's like the sun is shining a light on Pluto and Aquarius, the dark side of technology, which is if we allow for a technocracy, if we allow for digital IDs and digital currency, the elites that are losing their power, in my opinion, would have total control over us. We need to have cash. We need to have exchange of a physical value, right? So, and that is also one of the cards, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, that the dark arts people would want to play to create chaos, to create crisis, to maybe try to stop an election from happening, right? One of their cards to create chaos is to do global IT technological outages, right? So it's like the sun is showing us, I feel part of it is the sun is showing us, like, be prepared for the possibility of that. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure in a really crazy way in the future, but that's definitely a card that some of these weirdo, crazy dark arts people want to play for sure. So anything that Aquarius rules, especially the dark side of that, because it's sun opposition adverse aspect, is really being highlighted to us. I think we could see this week as well something coming up with social media, maybe some drama coming up around a social media company or social media influencer and the truth around that. We could also have in the upcoming week with the Sun Pluto opposition, you know, some dark information coming out about ETs or UFOs, the not so good star people and ET outer world technologies. That could be really highlighted as well. And Aquarius is also astrology and astronomy. So maybe there's something astronomically that is a dark truth that is going to be revealed this week as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how that comes up for us. So yes, anything that Leo or Aquarius rules, wherever we have 0 degrees of Aquarius and around 0 degrees of Leo, those 2 points in our chart is important to look at to see where we need to maybe do some shadow work or be honest with ourselves, or where we can maybe be going through some major challenge at the moment. Hi, Marie Jose. Nice to see you here. Philip, nice to see you too. You say, a blackout would force people to reconnect in real, dark will lose immediately. Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you. And it's funny how everything that the dark side does always backfires on them, right? So very good point, Philip. Okay, let me see here. So yeah, and we're going to go through each of the 12 signs, and I want to, share with you guys, be really honest with you guys about where we need to possibly do shadow work at the moment based on our sun, rising signs. Also, you can pay attention to your moon sign, but most importantly, because it's a sun Pluto opposition, whatever your sun sign is actually, and then your rising sign. So we're going through also, I want to mention also a collective identity crisis. Okay. Because Pluto is crisis, dark night of the soul, shit hitting the fan. It's the most most intense planet in astrology. And the sun is our identity, right? So I think as a collective, we're going through an identity crisis, and especially people that have not stepped into their consciousness journey, people that do not have, thank you, spirit, people that do not have a healthy mind, body, spirit connection are probably going through a major identity crisis right now, because we're seeing all of these systems and structures of life literally fall apart right before our eyes. So I think most of you guys listening to my channel or listening to this video right now probably are not having like a total identity crisis like that, but we can be noticing in our personal life some loved ones or even public figures that don't have that healthy mind, body, spirit connection going through that total identity crisis, right? So very, very intense stuff. Before we get into a reading for each of the 12 signs with this Sun-Pluto opposition, I want to pull some cards for all of us. And I see Marie Jose is in the chat. So I'm going to pull from the Ancient Stones Oracle that Marie Jose gifted me on our recent Sacred England retreat. And I'm really missing Marie and Tracy and our whole soul family. We had such a magical trip to England, and I'm still feeling like I'm buzzing from the energy of that for sure. So I'm going to pull a few cards for us from Universe. What is our collective guidance for this Sun-Pluto opposition today, this upcoming week? Let's see what we get here. Ooh, these two popped out right away. Wow. Okay, I haven't pulled. Oh my gosh. Okay. The third one is one that I have got literally every single time I pulled from these cards so far. So our first one is boundary stones. Can you guys read that, or is it backwards for you guys? Boundary stones, negotiations, contracts, communication. So it's like our boundaries and what we have contracts to. Wow. And then the second card is returning. These cards are so beautiful. Spiral journey, growth, renewal, healed. Ooh, and there's a labyrinth in that card. And the third one, which I have pulled literally every time that I've used this deck so far, since Marie Jose gifted it to me, is the cave. Retreat, time out, self-care, or slow down. Okay, you guys can read it. Thank you, Celestial Emma. Woo! Okay, boundaries. Boundaries. Pluto is very much about boundaries and protection, right? So it's also when I'm talking about each of the 12 sign mini readings, wherever we have that, 0 degrees of Aquarius, it's like, how are we doing with our boundaries in that area? How are we doing with our self-honesty in that area, right? This is boundary stones is making me feel like we don't have to save everybody. We need to save ourselves. And we can be of service to those that are ready to work on themselves. So as I said, with this Sun-Pluto opposition and this energy right now, it's like some people are having a total identity crisis and might be having like a mental breakdown. Okay, so I'm not wishing that upon anybody, but this is a very, very intense week astrologically with these energies, where it's important to have our boundaries up. It's important for us to be honest in our communication. you know? And what are we negotiating that maybe doesn't even need to be a negotiation? I'm hearing spirit say. I'm hearing spirit say, where are you selling yourself out? And why are you selling yourself out? If there is an area like that. So, wow. Returning. Pluto is also about healing, renewal, growth. Literally, that card, that's such a Pluto card. So, by embracing the current energies, and I keep getting this message so strong, we're returning to our true selves, and we're being renewed. And things are not as bad as they may seem, right? We've got Neptune 29 degrees of Pisces. And every time we've got Neptune in his home sign of Pisces, if you look back in history at every time Neptune is in Pisces, everybody thinks it's the end of the world and we're all going to die. It's an illusion. Pisces is illusions, right? So it's like so many critical things all happening at the same time. And the cave, retreat, time out, self-care. How is your relationship with self-care? You know, this is definitely a week. And I'm also speaking to myself when I'm saying this to all you guys, because I'm a Scorpio, moon in Capricorn, and I will just, I can be a little bit of a workaholic and think, okay, I'll do that self-care next week. I'll do that self-care next time. But today I had some plans to do some things, and I did some work earlier in the day, and now I'm doing this live show now. And in between, I went, no, I need to stop. I need to retreat. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to dig out some weeds, and I'm going to do some garden meditation. At a certain point, with so much going on in the collective right now, we can't be go, 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 go all the time, right? We really need to balance out that rest with activity at the moment. So what is it that you do for self-care? And is it actually nourishing you, or is there some new form of self-care that you should maybe be doing? I love these cards so much. Thank you, Marie Jose. And I'm also going to pull one for us as a collective from the Soul Journeys deck that Alexis gifted to me in England. Very cool deck. Never seen this one before. So what's our message from here with this Sun-Pluto opposition? Ooh, worry. I am learning that worry does not change an outcome. And I don't know about you guys, but this has definitely been coming up in my personal life with some certain situations, is like the energy of worry and how that can really shift things and even like create certain situations, right? What are you worrying about? Is there anything that you're worrying about? And is it actually worth the worry, if you will? We got that Neptune in Pisces. So there's a lot of illusions. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of things that aren't even real, that are literally a movie that we're watching, right? I'm learning that worry does not change an outcome. Powerful, 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 powerful. Okay, Susan says, what wonderful friends you have to have gifted you those beautiful cards. We all benefit. Yes, I'm so, so grateful. I love my new cards. Thank you guys so much. And I'm also going to use my other new cards that I got from Ilsa, the Angel Number Oracle. For each of the 12 signs, as we go through each of the 12 signs, I'll do an astrological reading, and I'll pull an Angel Number Oracle card for each of the 12 signs. So, okay, let's do it. Let's get into the 12 sign readings for the Sun-Pluto opposition. And I'm going to take a sip of water before we get started. And I've got the charts from yesterday because yesterday was the exact Sun-Pluto opposition, but we are still in the energy of it for the whole next week until, you know, some astrologers will say different things, but I put at the title of this video, July 22nd to July 27th, because that's when the Sun and Pluto are within a 5-degree orb of opposition with the Sun in his home sign of Leo. So, have we got any Aries out there? Aries, Sun, Moon, and risings, but most importantly, listen to your Sun and rising signs, okay? So, Aries, you've currently got a stellium of planets in your 5th house of Leo, of course, including the Sun, because Aries in the solar charts have all of the houses ruled by the sign that that house is associated with, the areas of life that it rules. So, Aries, you've got that Sun in Leo in opposition to Pluto, 0 degrees of Aquarius, in your 11th house. Okay. So this is where there can be intense things coming up for you right now, or challenges coming up for you right now regarding your friends, your group associations, your wishes and dreams and aspirations of the future, right? So, have you guys been thinking about the future lately, or what are your plans for the future? Because with this Pluto Sun opposition, there's something that you need to be really honest with yourself about your future, about who you're going to have in that future in regards to friends and, your group associations. Okay. Wow. We've got a lot of Aries in the chat. Nice to see you guys. So, and I'm just going to give it to you guys straight. This is where some of you Aries might be having like some toxic friendships, some energy vampire friendships, or kind of like toxic, weird group associations or team associations at the moment. This could also be some Aries having like an addiction to something technologically related, or addiction to social media and struggling with that. The 11th house of Aquarius rules social media and technology. So, Aries, when's the last time you were really honest with yourself about the friends you surround yourself with, the groups you surround yourself with, social media and how you use it? What's the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Do you look at your phone? Do you check social media? Do you go look at the news right away? So, looking at your relationship with technology, and is there anything that is, unhealthy about that, right? Being honest with yourself at this time about your life can be very empowering for you, because Pluto is about empowerment towards your future. Okay. So this is a good week with this Sun Pluto opposition, Aries, to be honest about what is it that you really want in your future from the bottom of your heart. What is it that you want? And are you taking the steps in this present moment to be in alignment with that? Right? Like if there's some Aries risings out there that maybe want to live in a like-minded community, or around like-minded people, but they're living in the city and they never go out and they only have normie friends, it's going to be harder to create that kind of reality, right? So being honest with yourself in those 11th house Aquarian ruled areas is very, very good for you at this time. Being honest with yourself about your dreams and your hopes. And there may be some dreams that you had that come to a death point this week. Some long-term goals that you have that come to a death point, that are being renewed into new ones that actually serve you for your highest good moving forward. So I'm sending lots and lots of love to you, Aries. Intense times for you, Aries, with those eclipses in your sign. And Pluto in your 11th house. So let's see what angel number oracle card the universe has for you today in regards to the Sun Pluto opposition and how you can best work with it for the Aries. Whoa. 999, release. Aries, what do you need to release? Pluto is all about release. Holy guacamole. So was there anything that I just said there that resonated for you, Aries? Or is there something else in your life that as soon as you see that card, 999 with the eye, the intense Scorpio eye kind of looks like my crazy Scorpio eye. What needs to be released? Be honest with yourself. Let it go. You Aries are strong, you're confident, you're assertive, and you can do it. Love you guys. Okay, let's move to the Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, risings, my fellow Tauruses. I got my rising in Taurus. Maybe that's why I'm feeling it so freaking intense, because I'm a Scorpio with a Taurus rising. Tauruses, you guys are an interesting case because look at this. Sun is currently in the solar charts transiting at our IC at the bottom of our charts, stellium of planets in Leo in the 4th house, with the sun shining a light right onto Pluto conjunct our midheaven. Exact. This is very intense for the Tauruses. And I forgot to say earlier, the signs that are going to be the most affected by this, just in general, are the Leos, because the sun rules Leo, the Scorpios, because Pluto rules Scorpio, the Aquarians, because Pluto is in Aquarius, but also the Tauruses, because Taurus have Pluto on their midheaven. And I already said the Aquariuses, not just because Pluto is an Aquarius, but it's conjunct their ascendant, right? So for Tauruses, Pluto on your midheaven, wow, what the heck is going on with you guys? Do we have any Tauruses here in the live chat? If you feel like sharing what might be coming up for you at this time, you're welcome to share in the live chat. If not, I'll tell you guys, this is huge, once in a lifetime life transformation with Pluto on your midheaven and the sun in an opposition to Pluto. So, the midheaven is the start of our 10th house of the Capricorn ruled areas of life. Granddaddy Saturn and Capricorn, having our shit together and responsibility and our legacy, how we're seen publicly and our work and career. So Taurus is, what are you doing? There could be a very big theme coming up for Tauruses of release overall in life, in any area of life. Just release, death, rebirth, total life transformation, total life changes. And in terms of right on your midheaven in the 10th house, this could be challenges in work, in career, maybe secrets or things being revealed to you, Tauruses, about who you work for, what you work for, what do you want to do? Are you doing what you really want to do? Are you empowered professionally if you're working? And how can you be more empowered? This is Pluto on our midheaven, Tauruses. This is us stepping into even greater leadership positions. With that Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, might feel really fucking weird. Excuse my language, but it might feel really weird. Okay. Like for me as a Taurus rising, I'll just share with you guys personally, and I'm totally honest. For me as a Taurus rising, and I actually have in the Placidus charts, for me personally, my midheaven at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So that full moon in Capricorn was right conjunct my midheaven. And of course, transit Pluto conjunct my midheaven. And I made 2 totally accurate astrological specific predictions in the last week. So it's like I'm stepping into my career to a new level of responsibility of making predictions, and when is the right time to, and I'm just sharing my personal experience as an astrologer, like that's a huge responsibility of being able to read the astrology, being a psychic intuitive, and maybe getting some predictions. And what do I share? What do I not share? When am I being in my ego? Staying grounded with that, staying humbled with that, because for me, it's bringing me to another level, like making accurate predictions. So just saying, Taurus is, no matter where you are professionally, you're being bumped up. You're being up leveled. And it might feel really weird. It felt really weird for me in the past week to make two very accurate predictions. When, I come from some family members and people in my personal life that call me crazy and think that there's something wrong with me. And then there's all these other people projecting on me. Oh my God, that's amazing what you did. You're so good at the astrology, right? So Tauruses, it can feel weird how we're being up leveled, but it's in alignment astrologically for us to go through that up level, for us to step into that greater professional responsibility and leadership role. And Pluto in the midheaven is classic for power struggles. Okay, because the midheaven, in terms of people, represents people older than us, elders, teachers, authority figures, mentors. With Sun opposite Pluto, a lot of us Tauruses can maybe have some power struggles, right? So let me know, Tauruses, how you guys are doing, because this is intense where we're being tested. Pluto is going, I'm up leveling you guys. This is Pluto at the top of your chart. I'm up leveling you guys. I'm cleansing you guys, whether you like it or not. It's happening. And the more you try to resist it, Taurus, the more challenging it will be. So take care of what you need to take care of and be open to the amazing professional opportunities that might be coming up leveling opportunities that might be coming up, and staying humble through that, right? Because the Sun in Leo can be ego. It can also be ego. So staying humbled while these amazing opportunities are coming up is really, really important. So Tauruses, let's see, what is your angel number oracle card for this crazy Sun-Pluto opposition that we're having? What is the guidance for the Taurus, Sun, Moon, and risings? I feel like, yeah, it can be weird for Tauruses right now because they like stability. They like to know how things are going to go. And with Pluto 0 degrees of Aquarius on their midheaven, it can feel really weird and strange and unpredictable. Ooh, 33, action. So kind of like what I was saying, Tauruses, we like to chill. Tauruses like to chill. We like to have the enjoyments of life. Sometimes in our shadow side, we can be lazy or overindulgent. This is a time of action with this Sun opposite Pluto on our midheaven, taking action in particular, professionally, in particular with our long-term goals, in particular with opportunities that are coming up. So 33, action, schmaction. 111 in the chat. I've been seeing 111 constantly. It's been freaking me out a little bit lately. So Tauruses, I love you so much. And I'm sending lots of cosmic love your way. Geminis. Okay. Geminis. What is going on for all y'all? Sun and Leo in your third house in opposition to Pluto in your ninth house. So this Sun in Leo is shining a light on Pluto in your ninth house. Your beliefs are changing. Your self-beliefs, your world beliefs, your possibly spiritual beliefs. Oh, we've got quite a few Gemini risings. Cool. Why do you believe what you believe? What do you believe? Do you believe in anything? What beliefs do you hold on to, and where did those come from? Did those come from your heart? Leo is the heart. Or did those come from somebody else? Did those come from ninth house, a spiritual guru, or a cult leader, or a religious leader, or something totally outside yourself that has nothing to do with yourself? So there's nothing wrong with you, Geminis, but your beliefs, which our beliefs create our reality, right? are being tested, are being challenged, are going through a transformation. Pluto. And I keep hearing spirit say for you, guys, what do you believe and why? Right? So if you're a Gemini, and usually Geminis are very light and not usually like pessimistic or anything like that. But if you believe this is the end of the world, or if you believe there's gonna be a blackout for a year and it's gonna be fucking crazy, right? Where did that come from? This is about your shadow beliefs. This is about your fears, your beliefs and fears. And where did those come from? Spirit's showing me, what's that book? There's a book, something beliefs. Oh my God. By Bruce Lipton or something like that. It would be good for you guys if you're looking for a book to read a book about, the spiritual science of beliefs and how what we believe actually creates our reality, right? So every single one of your beliefs right now, Gemini, is directly manifesting, reflecting back to you in your reality. Marie, thank you. Beyond Belief. Yes, thank you so much. Beyond Belief. That's the book. So, not just your beliefs, this can also be spiritual mentors that you're letting go at this time, spiritual teachers that you're letting go at this time, where you're learning the truth about them, or you're like really seeing them for who they are, right? Ninth house. Foreign people, ninth house, that you're learning about who they really are, what's going on with that. So very much about your beliefs. And we've now got, Mars in Gemini, right on your ascendant, in trine to Pluto in Aquarius. So this is really like you're going through a spiritual upgrade, and there's going to be religious figures, spiritual teachers that are likely to fall away, and things that you realize that have been a belief falling away. Linda, yes, biology of belief. That's what I was thinking of. Dr. Lipton. Thank you. So I'll share with you, Geminis, something personal as well. I was a vegan for 12 years. Okay. I was a hardcore vegan for 12 years since I was, how old was I? 13 or 14 until I was 29, 28, 29. I'm not the best at math, but like over 10 years, I was a vegan where I did not eat any animal products whatsoever, other than like 2 or 3 times I wanted a chocolate with caramel in it, and I put it in my mouth and I was like, oh, this is so disgusting. I can't eat an animal. I spat it out. So I'm not making fun of anybody out there if they're a vegan. I'm just talking from my personal experience. I had this belief that I couldn't be spiritual unless I didn't eat animals, right? So for 12 years of my life, I was a hardcore vegan. And then right before the pandemic happened, I hadn't eaten animal products in so long. Right before the pandemic happened, I started to crave salmon, which is so weird. And I wasn't pregnant, by the way. It was so weird, and it was so out of nowhere. And it was right when I got with Jens for the first time. And long story long, I'll try to make this as short as possible. I was visiting some people I know in Nova Scotia, and they had just bought salmon from a local indigenous tribe that fishes the salmon themselves, prays over the salmon. Like they do it in the total traditional, best way you can possibly fish. And they said to me, oh, Meg, you've been having cravings for salmon. Would you like to try this salmon? And after like 12 years, the first salmon I ate was from an indigenous reserve. And I immediately felt more grounded. Like immediately as I ate that salmon, I was more in my body. I was grounded, and I physically just felt way, way better, way better. So I'm not trying to bash vegans, but just saying that was my personal experience was I had 12 years where I ate like shit. Okay. And I'm sorry that this is taking a long time. I'll get to the cancers in a second. But I literally was such an unhealthy vegan, because to be a healthy vegan, you need to cook a lot of your meals and you need to really know what you're doing. And then as soon as I changed that belief and I went, wait a second, why? I'm on a planet where animals eat animals and beef is the most nutritious thing that you can put into your body. So why am I being so hard on myself? And I'm still spiritual. Everybody's spiritual. And my beliefs totally did a switch. I went from one day being like judging everybody that wasn't vegan to the next day being like, you know what? I physically feel better now and I'm going to let go of that belief. That was something that was like programmed into me. That's bullshit. Right? So that's what I'm talking about, Geminis. Paying attention to those real hardcore beliefs you're holding on to and why are they there and where did they come from? Okay. Gemini Ascension says, thank you for sharing this. I still feel guilty when I eat chicken. Yeah, sometimes I still feel weird. Sometimes I'm like, this is so weird. I'm eating an animal. But for whatever reason, that's part of being here on Earth at this time, right? So we won't go totally into the vegan discussion, but just to share with you guys. And, you know, if you are vegan or vegetarian, do whatever you want to do. I'm all about freedom. Right. So Geminis, sorry for the digression, but felt like I had to share that. Let's pull a card for you guys for this Sun Pluto opposition. What is your guidance? Ooh, this one's falling out. 88, reward. Ooh. So as you be honest with yourselves, as you do some shadow work and self-healing, with this Sun Pluto opposition, there is a reward. 88, reward. And we always get rewarded when we're honest with ourselves, when we do the right thing. So there's some kind of reward coming through for you guys. That's awesome. Cool. Okay, love you, Geminis. Now we're moving to the Cancers. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Wow. So Cancers, this is also, you know, I'm also going to throw you guys into the box of one of the signs that are getting the most affected by this Sun Pluto opposition. And that's because, yay, you've got the Sun in your second house with a stellium of planets in your second house. But then there's Pluto in the 8th house, the house of Pluto and Scorpio. So you guys, Cancers, have Pluto at 0 degrees in his home house, in the underworld, in the shadows, in the hidden. And the Sun in Leo is shining a light on your 8th house, your shadow side. So Cancers, this is a week. If you're into self-development, if you're into healing work, if you're into your conscious journey of life, do shadow work this week. And if you've never done shadow work before, for me, shadow work is practices where you are being totally honest and authentic about where you're at. So the 8th house of Scorpio rules therapy, right? Talking to a therapist about maybe some things that you're scared to talk to about other people, or journaling or saying things out loud that you genuinely, authentically feel that maybe for whatever reason you feel weird to share or it's a secret. This is paying attention to your secrets. This is paying attention to your shadow side. There could be something for Cancers coming up that's really not nice coming up this week. I'll just be honest. Not nice to hear. Some secrets being revealed from yourself or other people around you, or you really feeling affected from the secrets being revealed in the collective, Cancers. So this is where embracing that shadow side, embracing that shadow work. Also, I'm hearing Spirit say doing healing on traumas that you've been through. Like Cancers, have you been through traumas in your life or in recent times that you haven't done healing on, that you haven't done therapy on, this is an amazing week to do so. And if you do so, you will be empowered. You will be renewed. You're literally going, Cancers, whether you like it or not, through a total death and rebirth this week with this sun in opposition to Pluto in your 8th house. And if you've been doing anything weird, okay, if you've got any addictions, if you've been lying, if there's been anything weird going on, that sun in opposition to Pluto in your 8th house is going to bring it up to the surface where you're going to feel like, I have to deal with this or I'm going to go crazy, right? Healing addictions, healing trauma, healing whatever's triggering you from your shadow side at this time. You know, if we've got addictions or weird behavioral patterns, and we've all got weird stuff going on, none of us is perfect. It always comes from some kind of trauma, right? Some kind of challenge that we've been through. So Cancers, the best astrological advice I can say to you this week is talk to a therapist or go to a real deal healing arts practitioner, or work on yourself. If you want to do it all on yourself, that's okay. But you guys help everybody and you guys nourish everybody and you guys are nurturing and you guys give your whole selves to everybody. You're such beautiful people. This is a week. Let some other people take care of you. Go talk to an astrologer or a tarot reader or a therapist or a shaman or a healing arts practitioner about whatever it is that's coming up. Let somebody help you because you guys are constantly helping everybody else and giving yourself to everybody else. Let yourself receive healing this week. Let yourself, like every day of this week, I'm going to give you Cancer's homework. Do something that really nourishes you every day this week. Taking a bath, getting a massage, eating some food that you love, that's nourishing to you, that's healthy, going to see a therapist, talking to a friend, having some good sex if you can, or masturbating if you can. That's also the 8th house, sex, sexual healing, right? Sananda says, would be nice to be nurtured. Yeah, Cancer, you guys are always nurturing everybody else. Let yourselves be nurtured with this sun opposition to Pluto. Let yourself receive. And what is your relationship with receiving? Is there a block there? Is there a wound there? Be honest with yourself about that. Okay, Cancers, so let's see. What's your angel number oracle card for this week? This is very intense for you. I feel for you, Cancers, this week, and I'm sending lots of love for the Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. This can be some big challenges coming up this week. Nothing to be afraid of. Oops. All my cards just fell down. Nothing to be afraid of. But there's some big stuff coming up this week. Whoa. 2020 bonds. That's an interesting one. Bonds. So there's a message around with this Pluto in your 8th house, Sun Pluto opposition. It's about your bonds. And Pluto in the 8th house in Scorpio rules merging with others. It's very much about our bonds, our deep bonds. What are you bonded to at this time? What have you bound yourself to? What have you committed to? Who have you merged with? Does it serve you anymore? Right? Looking in the past at your biggest bonds in life, whether it was a friendship, whether it was a lover, whether it was a work partner or family member, and is there any healing that needs to be done? Right? Philip says, heart to heart bond, it is this week. Yeah. And you're also bonding as you honor yourself and nurture yourself heal yourself, nourish yourself. You're bonding with yourself. You're empowering yourself and you're strengthening yourself. Such a cool card. So love you, Cancers out there. Sending you lots of love. Okay, now to the Leos, to the Lions. Happy birthday. Happy Leo season to all the Leos out there. Leo suns. So this is for the Leo sun, moon, or risings. I keep dropping my cards. Ah! Sorry, you guys. Okay. Leos. This is also intense for the Leos because, of course, the sun is in Leo, your ruling heavenly body. The sun, your ruler, in opposition to Pluto, shining a light on Pluto. And for you, Leos, this is in your 7th house of committed relationships and your love life and your contracts and your style and your aesthetic, right? How you present yourself. Why do you present yourself that way? And what the heck is really going on in your love life? Okay, Pluto, 0 degrees Aquarius in your 7th house. Sun-Pluto opposition. What is going on in your love life? Do you need to share a secret with a partner? Is a partner sharing a secret with you? Is there a breakup? Is there a divorce? Is there some real deal like therapy or shit that needs to come up between you and a partner? Because this is Pluto. This is the most intense planet of our shadow side in your 7th house. So this can be a week of relationship challenges, or you learning the truth about a romantic partner, or you healing from past committed relationships. You know, the 7th house is open enemies. Now I'm gonna get Scorpio intense with you guys right now. The 7th house rules open enemies. The 12th house rules hidden enemies. Pisces, 12th house, because Pisces is like confusion, things that are hidden. So when we've got, and I'm just saying this as an astrological example, Pluto in the 12th house in a natal chart or in transits, that's classic for watch out for hidden enemies, right? Whereas Pluto in the 7th house is open enemies. And what does that mean, open enemies? You know, just using a silly example, you've got a neighbor that you know wants to have sex with your husband, and she walks around in her bikini all day in the front yard flirting with your husband. Okay, that is an open enemy. That's a silly example, but that's an example of that. Or you've got a friend that all they do is diminish you and put you down, and they're obviously jealous of you, right? But you're just brushing it aside. That is an open enemy that you are allowing in your life. So Leos, who are you allowing in your life and why in your committed relationships? Are there people in your life that are obviously like open enemies, or people that do not have your highest good in your life? Is there something that you know feels kind of weird with a coworker or a love partner or a committed relationship that you've just been like brushing aside, right? This is shadow work coming up with that. And this is also being honest with yourself, Pluto in the 7th house, about your contracts and agreements that you've made. Okay. What have you contracted to, and why did you contract to that? I'm feeling intuitively that also for Leos, there can be major work changes in terms of if you have contracts at work, contracts in general, there can be big changes happening with that. Peter says, Meg, so accurate, it hurts. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, it can hurt sometimes. Pluto in the seventh house, Sun opposite Pluto in the seventh house, that's a doozy, okay? Because that's about our loved ones in our life. And there's some secrets being revealed there or challenges coming up there. Maybe even, the seventh house also is others outside of ourselves. So you guys could be experiencing, Leo, someone in your life other than you going through a total identity crisis, someone going through a crisis that you're needing to be in a supportive role for, that can be really challenging. Maybe they had some sort of health issue or near-death experience, or maybe they're dying themselves. I mean, this is Pluto. This is the most intense planet. So what the heck is going on with the people in your life? And how are you handling that? And how are you coping with that? Be honest with yourselves, Leo. So I'm sending lots and lots of love your way. And let's see what your angel number oracle card is for this Sun-Pluto opposition week. Pluto and Saturn, the malefics, they kick us in the ass when they come around with these adverse aspects. This is all of us. This is all of us. We can't escape it. Kicking us in the butt. Pluto is pointing at where we need to pay attention to. This is where you need to pay attention to. Oh my goodness. Wow. Leos, we've got for you 1321. Angel number, awareness. Wow. Being, and like the physical body, being in your physical body to be in awareness. I'm feeling that for you guys. Being physically active to get grounded into your physical awareness, to really feel into, okay, what's Meg talking about? The people in my life. What do I need to pay attention to? How does your body awareness feel when you're around people? Do you feel uplifted when you're around your committed relationships? Or do you feel like shit and you feel diminished and you feel like, oh, they're making me feel like shit, but I'm just going to put up with it because maybe something's wrong with me? No. Having awareness about how do people make you feel in your physical body when you're around them? Because that's one of the psychic senses. That is one of the psychic senses of clairsentience, right? So we got claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience. Clairsentience is when we feel in our body something's not right. Or when we're around someone and we feel in our body like anxious or heavy or sick, that's psychic ability. So paying attention to your body's psychic ability, Leos, in terms of who you are around, who you're in committed relationships with. Corey says, wow, so spot on, Meg. My grandma is a Leo and she's caring for her mother right now who is dying. Not easy. I'm sending lots and lots of love for you, Corey. Not easy stuff. Teresa says, so accurate for me. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Leos. Love ya. Happy birthday. And now we move to the Virgos. Virgo, sun, moon, and risings. Stellium of planets in your 12th house with that sun, 0 degrees in Leo, shining a light from the 12th house to Pluto in your 6th house. With Uranus right on your midheaven. Very, very interesting. Interesting astrology for the Virgos right now. So Pluto in your 6th house, this is health. Okay, which, the 6th house is your house, Virgos. This is the Virgo ruled areas of life. So Virgos, what's going on with your health? Okay. And if there's any health issues, what is the root cause of that? Pluto. Pluto is getting to the bottom of things. Pluto is authenticity, investigation, the deepest forms of research, getting to the bottom of things. If there's a health issue going on, it's not just there for no reason. There's always a deeper reason. There's always a energetic manifestation as to why we're sick or why we have a health issue. That comes from a trauma or it comes from a belief. So are there health issues going on? And why are they really there? And if you don't know why they're really there, it would be really good for you guys to go see a holistic practitioner, to go see a naturopath, to work with Virgo natural healing arts practitioners, right? Not trying to bash Western medicine, because I think there are some good things that Western medicine has to offer. But at some point, we need to go the holistic route or the alternative route. And this is Pluto 0 degrees of Aquarius, alternative healing therapies to get to the bottom of things, right? So, interesting. Sananda says, my friend has health issues. She is a Virgo. Yeah. A lot of Virgos can be getting maybe sick at this time, having a health issue. And I don't want you guys to be just saying it's the physical manifestation of something that you need to be paying attention to. And there's a book by Louise Hay. I'm forgetting all the names of the books today. What is that book called, you guys, by Louise Hay? Your Body Heal Yourself. Your Body Heals Yourself or something. Type it in the chat below or in the live chat, whatever that Louise Hay book is. She has a really good book where it's like an encyclopedia of all of the health issues and what the actual holistic real deal meaning of that is. Thank you, Lady of Wild Rose. Thank you. It's You Can Heal Your Own Life by Louise Hay. That is a fantastic book. Literally any health issue that comes up, you can go look in that book and see what is the root cause. Virgos, that's important for you to pay attention to at this time. Your health. There can be issues also, Virgo, happening in your day-to-day work, challenges coming up with that, secrets being revealed with that. Also, your organization and your day-to-day schedule and routine. Like, what is your day-to-day routine? And does that really serve you? Does that really make you feel good? You know, are you being a Virgo in the way up? I have to wake up, I have to drink this green juice, and I have to do it this way, and then I have to brush my teeth for 15 minutes. You know, Virgo, not everything has to be so strict, right? So what's your day-to-day routine, and does that feel good for you? Does your day-to-day routine ruled by the 6th house bring you joy? Does it empower you? Pluto? What's going on with health? What's going on with work? What's going on with your day-to-day routine? And also there could be, you know, with pets, because the 6th house can do pets and animals, a challenge coming up with a pet, possibly. I don't want that happening to any of you guys, but there could be things coming up with the pets. Okay, so giving extra love and care to your pets if you have them, Virgos. And I'm sending lots and lots of love your way. Okay, Virgos. What is Virgos, or what are Virgos? I cannot talk. Ever since Jupiter went into Gemini, I'm having such a hard time talking, so forgive me, you guys. What is Virgo's angel number oracle card for the Sun-Pluto opposition week? Synergy, 413. Synergy. I love that word. Love that word of synergy. Things flowing, things moving with ease. And I was feeling that with like your day-to-day routine. It's like, are you doing things day to day because Virgo, it has to be this way, I have to do it that way, like anal about things? Or where can you bring more flow? Where can you bring more synergy? Where can you bring more enjoyment? Synergizing with the flow, day to day, 413. So let me know, Virgos, how it's going for you. And I'm sending lots and lots of love to all of you. Okay, now we get to the Libras. Libra, sun, rising, and moons. You've got the eclipses in your sign. So it's been crazy town for the Libras and the Aries the past year. And now we've got this sun in Leo in a direct opposition this week to Pluto in your 5th house. Okay. Now this is, I like to call the 5th house the fun house. This is a very light house. It's the house of Leo. So it's the sun in Leo in an opposition to the 5th house of Leo with Pluto there. Our sense of fun, our creativity, our inner child, children in our life, our gifts and talents, and how we showcase our gifts and talents. So this would be a good week, Libras, to do like inner child healing work. And to also be paying attention to the children around you, if you have children yourself, or if there's children around you in your life, and what they are reflecting back to you. Okay. There could be things coming up. Pluto is creepy. Pluto is like going deep, into the past, into the truth of things. There could be things coming up for you this week, Libra, that you remember out of nowhere from your childhood. That were like maybe not so nice things that happen, truths being revealed about your childhood or in regards to the children around you. Maybe some of you Libras have to reveal something challenging that is a truth to a child in your life. Also, for those of you Libras that, are at that age of possibly having families, right? Are you having children? Do you want to have children? Is there anything holding you back from having children? Because for the next quite a while, we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius transiting over your 5th house for the next 20 years. Libras are very, very fertile this time because Pluto can deal with pregnancy. 5th house is children. So Libras, if you don't have kids, it's in alignment for you to have kids. And I'm not saying everybody has to have kids, okay? But of course, we're being very brainwashed at this time in the matrix world to not have children, right? No, we are supposed to be having children. We're supposed to be continuing our ancestral lines. There is supposed to be humans on the earth, living on earth. Children need to be born. So Libras, are you having kids? Are you scared of having kids? What's your relationship to that? Do you have kids? And is that something that is challenging for you at the moment in some regard? Okay. Kids are very highlighted. Also, your gifts and your talents and your creativity. Are there dormant creative gifts that you have not been putting enough energy towards? Right? Or how can you empower yourself to share your gifts and talents even more? Where are you being disempowered? Sun in opposition to Pluto in your 5th house. Where are you being disempowered? Right? Shine your light. Shine in your gifts and talents, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't be in your inner child, that you can't be in your creativity, that you can't be in your gifts and talents. Pluto in your 5th house, this is a very creative, fertile time for you, physically and spiritually as well. So Libras, let's see what your angel number oracle card is for this Sun-Pluto opposition this week. Interesting. It's in your 5th house. Ooh. 2, 1, 3, 4, Libras. Achievement. Another card with a body on there. Who is it that for Leos and Libras? Interesting. We've got like a body on the card. 2134, achievement. The fifth house does have to do with achievements because it's about being confident in our gifts, in our talents, right? It's the house of Leo, being the performer, showing ourselves, being confident. What achievements have you not yet achieved that you feel called to achieve? Something for you guys to think about. And this is also a time where you can have breakthroughs in achievement with this Sun Pluto opposition. It can bring achievement breakthroughs. Love you, Libras. Now we move to my fellow Scorpios. So Scorpios, this is extremely intense for us because Pluto is our modern day ruling planet in the Western astrology. And we've got that Pluto sitting right at the bottom of our charts, right on the IC. This is the most vulnerable, sensitive part of the astrology chart. It's the most private part. It's our private parts, which we don't like to share unless we're, having sex. But we're very secretive. We don't like to show our vulnerability easily, right? So Scorpios, with the sun right on our midheaven, woo, Leo season, sun in our 10th house, shining a light at Pluto, critical degree Aquarius. This can be some things coming up that might feel weird emotionally that we need to be honest with ourselves about. Family secrets, fourth house of family, family secrets, family crisis, family challenge, emotional healing. This is a week for emotional healing and ancestral healing in terms of shadow work for the Scorpios. And is there something that you're hiding, Scorpios? Pluto on the fourth house, cusp on the IC. Let it out. Okay, let it out. This is, like I said, for the Cancers, Scorpios, therapists are ruled by the eighth house of Scorpio, but they can also be associated with the fourth house of Cancer. Talk to a therapist if you're struggling with something. Okay, because this is weird emotions, weird mood swings. And I'm saying weird because it's Pluto in Aquarius, the sign that rules weirdness, right? This can be really like an emotional week where some Scorpios might be having like a breakdown for some reason because of an emotional trauma, because of an emotional challenge, because of a family issue, right? So your family is very highlighted. Your emotions are important for you to pay attention to. And why are you feeling so emotional? Where is that coming from? Where did that stem from and root from? Pluto. And how can you heal and move forward from that? So the Scorpios are definitely on edge this week because it's not just their ruler Pluto, it's Pluto right at the bottom of the chart, right at the most vulnerable part. And we might have to expose some things and reach out for help, which we don't really love to do, right, Scorpios? We might have to be vulnerable in a way this week that can feel really uncomfortable and weird. Or we might be having to support a family member, fourth house, in their vulnerability and challenge that can be just like a weird situation going on, right? So my fellow Scorpios, I'm sending love to all y'all out there. And with your family members, don't take anything personally because there could be some intense things going on with them. Don't take on people's projections personally. And we've got that Scorpio stinger. So if there is like a fight or major challenge happening with a family member or someone that you live with, we're very emotionally charged and triggered this week, Scorpios, where this is a week where you're going to want to pay attention to your stinger, your little tail, and keep that at bay, because this is where our emotions can be really heightened to where we might say something, the stinger might come out when we don't really, mean to say that. So Scorpios, please pay attention to your stingers this week and where you're putting your stinger, okay? Ooh, 77, purpose. Purpose, purpose, purpose. 77 is like 77 or 777 is like you're on the right track. You're on the right purpose, right? But there's some things to be paying attention to. So I'm not trying to bash my fellow Scorpios, but paying attention to those most vulnerable private parts of yourself, healing those, being honest with those so you can work forward even more in alignment with your purpose. So you're on the right track, Scorpios, but it's a really, really intense time, to say the least, for sure. Jeannie, hi, says, hi, Meg, I just caught your live. Sedona here. Love your astro all the time. You are rocking it, girlfriend. Well, thank you. And I love Sedona so much. So sending lots of love to you out there in Sedona. That's one of my most favorite places in the world. Peter says, we underestimate the pain our stingers inflict. Yes. And why that is because us Scorpios, Scorpio is the shadow side of life, and why people can be so uncomfortable and triggered with us sometimes is because we're not trying to read people, but we're reading everybody and everything as soon as we meet them or as soon as we go into a situation. And just by looking at somebody, we can, like, this is where Scorpios were kind of creepy like that. And with good reason, because we can just look at someone and know what their vulnerabilities are, what their traumas are, what their weaknesses are. And we have all that information stored to where if we're in a fight with you or you're triggering us, we can take that little stinger out and poke you at that most vulnerable place. So yes, Peter, I think Scorpios can underestimate the pain that the stingers inflict. And it's very important to Scorpios only use that stinger when it's really necessary, because the scorpion's venom is deadly. Okay, some Scorpios can kill you with their stinger. So we don't want to be screwing anybody up out there while we're going through a little bit of a emotional crisis, if you will. We've got our own things to take care of. Okay, Scorpios, love you. Now we move to the Sagittarians. How are the Saggies doing out there? This is Pluto in your third house in an opposition to the sun in your ninth house, your house. So you've got the sun transiting over your ninth house of Sagittarian ruled areas of life. With Pluto in your third house, it's not a heavy house. It's one of the lighter houses in astrology. So not too crazy for the Saggies. Okay, but this is where there could be challenge coming up in your local community with friends. Okay, I think your friends are very, very highlighted, Saggies, because the third house of Gemini has a lot to do with friends and our social acquaintances and activities. And with Pluto in Aquarius is the other sign other than Gemini that also rules friends. So what's going on with your friends? Like, do you have a friend that is going through a crisis or going through a major challenge? Or do you have a friend that doesn't really serve you anymore, isn't really on the same page anymore? So Saggies, look at your friendships, look at your social connections, look at your social activities, and be honest with yourself about those areas. And also your local community where you live, third house, can be going through a major, potentially even crisis or challenge or something crazy coming up this week. So just being really mindful and careful in your local community as you go about this week, and being mindful of what you communicate. Okay. Similar to what I was saying to, what was the sign I was saying that to? Aries. You know, Aries had Pluto in their 11th house. You guys have it in your third house. These are the two houses also of social media. Is there a social media addiction? Is there an addiction to gossip or just talking and socializing for, no reason? Looking at your communicative life, your social life, your relationship gadgets, your phone, your computer, your car. Are there any weird behavioral patterns with those things going on? Right. But really, though, I would say pay attention to your friends and your relationship with them and what's going on with them as well. Some of you guys may be having friends that are in crisis situations, challenging situations, or having breakthroughs where you need to have some really intense conversations with them. Okay. So sending lots of love to the Saggies. And let's see what your angel number oracle card is for this Sun Pluto opposition. Ooh, I love these cards. 911. Inevitability. That's another word I love. Inevitability. What is inevitable? So maybe asking yourself that reflective question in terms of your friends, your social situations. What is inevitably going to happen with that person? And I'll tell you, I know some Saggies that I can think of at the top of my head that have got some friend situations that are kind of weird, that they need to be honest with themselves about. What is the inevitability of that person? Do they need help? Do they need to have like an intervention for some reason? Right? And we can't escape destiny. We can't escape what is inevitable. So just doing maybe even like, third house is journaling, writing, doing some journaling about if there's anything that you're going through a challenge with at life, and just being honest with yourself about the inevitabilities around that and what's the best real authentic way, Pluto, to move forward from those things in life. So hope that resonates, Saggies. Love you guys very, very much. Now we go to the Capricorns. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moons. You're having this Pluto in your second house in an opposition to the sun in your eighth house. So you got that stellium of Leo planets, which is really positive and really bright and really fun, transiting over your eighth house in opposition to Pluto. And Pluto is the ruler of the eighth house. So this can be intense for the Saggies. The second house with Pluto there, this is our resources. This is our money. This is our abundance. This is our enjoyment of life and luxuries and what we find to be luxuries and our values. Okay. So for some Cappies, there could be an identity crisis around values or a major release happening regarding values that you've been holding on to, or an income stream, that you've been having. There could be some way of making money that is coming to an ending point at this time. But I also feel like with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and Aquarius rules the future, innovative ways of making money. Like, how can you be more open to new ways of income, new ways of profit? And I'm not a financial advisor, okay, but maybe taking a look at cryptocurrencies, maybe being honest with yourself about where you have your resources and why. And are those actually good investment opportunities, or are they scams, or are they things that you know in your heart aren't going to work out? Okay. Second house of Taurus is like, what is of physical value, right? Not like a cryptocurrency that some 17-year-old made called poop coin and you put 5,000 bucks into that. No, that's a no, right? So it's putting your hard earned resources into places investment wise that are actually of value, that are actually going to work for you. And there can be some career changes happening this week or being sparked this week for the Cappies with Pluto in your second house. So hope that resonates, Cappies. And let's see what your angel number card is for this Sun Pluto opposition. And you guys are hard workers, Cappies. Being mindful of, from the hard work that you do and the money that you make from that, where you're investing that money and where you're putting that money in, and is it worth it? Has it been worth it? Is there something new to look at, right? 10-10, faith. Faith. I feel like, and I've been saying this a lot, but I'll continue to say it. The Capricorns have been going through Pluto in Capricorn for the past 15 years. We've got from September to November, last time Pluto and Capricorn in our lives. So it's not easy for the Capricorns right now. There can be huge life, changes, transformations. Keep faith. Having some sort of faith practice will support you during this Sun-Pluto opposition, whether that's prayer, meditation, going out in nature, just yelling out loud, I've got faith, or affirming, I have faith. Everything is okay. I have faith. Everything is going to be okay. I have faith. I'm grateful. I trust in the universe. I have faith in the universe. I have faith in my destiny and my purpose. Affirmations can be really good for you guys. Okay. Aquarians. Do we have any Aquarians here with us? This is buck wild for the Aquarians because it's Pluto in your sign at 0 degrees. Okay. Trip 2 says that's spot on, Miss Moonbeam. Just what I've been thinking about. Love and light to all from England. Thank you, Trip 2. Sending you lots of love in magical England. Okay, yes, we've got quite a few Aquarians. Pluto's right smack dab, exactly conjunct your ascendant in opposition to the sun on your descendant. So actually similar to what I was saying to the Leos, because that sun is in your 7th house, paying attention to your relationships, your love life, and the truth of what's going on with that and your commitments in life. But with Pluto on your ascendant, the most important thing for you guys right now is just being your damn self. Okay, you're about to have what the Capricorns had for the next 20 years. Pluto in your sign, but you guys are lucky because Pluto in Aquarius is way lighter than Pluto in Capricorns. Capricorns have been getting kicked in the butt. It's been very challenging for us Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Aquarians, this is more for you. This Sun Pluto opposition is like, just, I'm hearing the spirit say, be your damn self. Be yourself. Get empowered by just being yourself. The world is ready for your uniqueness. The world is ready for your weirdness. Let go. If you've been like playing this role, right? The ascendant is how we show up. The first house where you got Pluto is how we show up. If you've been showing this character of yourself that you know is not your true self, is not your true, weird, unique, genius, innovative self, let that go. Let that go. with this Sun Pluto opposition. Be empowered by just being yourself. And in your physical body, because the first house can be the physical body, you're definitely going through a physical cleanse more so than a lot of the other signs. The Virgos and Aquarians can be really feeling this opposition like physically in the body. So drinking a lot of water, getting good rest, eating really nutritious foods. The main thing for you Aquarians is, you guys are, I always laugh with the Aquarians because you're like people from the future. You're like people from 150 years into the future that are living now. Aquarians are time travelers that are living now, and they're just like trying not to freak us out too much because they are geniuses. They are future people that have to be with us here now in 2024 when they're really from like 2500 or 2500. So to even be here, a lot of Aquarians have had to maybe dress in clothes they didn't want to dress in or do their hair in a way just to like fit in because they know they're different. So now is the time with Pluto in your sign to be yourself. Wear the clothes you want to wear. Do your hair the way you want to do it. Express yourself and show yourself, ascendant, to the world that you want to show yourself. If you're like, what would be what's a silly example? Trying to think of a good example. A lot of Aquarians are inventors, right? If you've like come up with some weird invention, you're like, I know my purpose is I'm going to invent this modality, or I'm going to invent this thing, but I'm scared to do it because people already think I'm weird. Just do it. Just do it this week. Be yourself this week, and you will be rewarded, and you will be even more empowered and feel empowered, right? So Aquarians, it's a week for you to, I feel like Aquarians, you're being tested in every moment this week with whoever you interact with in the outside world. And the test is just be yourself. It doesn't matter how people are going to react, right? Because we need you guys with this Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, and for you magical Aquarians, your angel number oracle for the Sun Pluto week is, we've gotten all different cards. And of course you would get this very Aquarian card. I don't even know what this word means. Symbiosis. 1 2 2 1. So of course we would get this very kind of like interesting word. I'm going to bring, because I want to know, Aquarius, is what does this word mean? Okay. The definition of symbiosis: any of several living arrangements between members of two different species, including mutualism, communalism, and parasitism. Both positive and negative associations are therefore included, and the members are called symbionts. Okay, I do know what this word means. I just haven't used it in a very long time. So who you are, who you genuinely are, and what you're here to share at your core is now in symbiosis with what the collective is ready for. Whereas before this time we're in now, it was like the world, the collective was not totally ready for you yet because you're future beings. But now with Pluto in Aquarius and us entering the age of Aquarius, we are in symbiosis with all of you Aquarians. Okay. So being in harmony with yourself and sharing that outwards just brings connection to you, to all things, to your purpose even deeper. So things are flowing positively for you guys, but don't be scared anymore around just being yourself. Okay, Aquarians? Love you guys. Catherine says, yep, even though it seems other, it fits in. Yes. Okay. Last sign, not Scorpio. Oops, wrong slide. Pisces. Pisces, 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 the little fish that are swimming around. And they're so magical and light and sensitive. And I don't know why I'm singing that song, but I'm singing the song for a Pisces. Oh, that's what it is. Do you guys know that song? Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, 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 swimming. That's coming through for you, Pisces, for some reason. My psychically, I want to sing to you guys, just keep swimming, from that movie Finding Nemo. So for the Pisces, maybe you need to just keep swimming because this is not easy for you guys right now. Sun and Leo in your 6th house in an opposition to Pluto in your 12th house, your house of Pisces, which is the house of the ocean and swimming and the spiritual world. And it's a water house. It's creative. But with Pluto in there, this is about hidden enemies. This is intense shit. Okay, Pisces, Pluto in your 12th house in an opposition to the sun and Pluto at critical degree, hidden enemies, subconscious, unhealthy behavioral patterns, toxic, like spiritual people in your life that say they're spiritual and I'm channeling this thing for you that are actually like an energy vampire. Okay. So Pisces, discernment, ding, 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 ding. This week, discernment. Because the 12th house is also, it can be illusions and confusion and not seeing things clearly. Somebody's saying something that sounds kind of good, even though it feels a little bit weird, but okay, I'll go with that. I'll go swim with that. No, just keep swimming in the grounded as possible direction. Swim towards that sun in the 6th house of Virgo, which is having your shit together, being grounded, being analytical, being judgmental, right? If someone says to you, 12th house is spirituality, spiritual people. If someone says to you, oh, I need to do this healing on you because you have this past life cord. I'm seeing it all in front of me. I'm seeing it all. Be in your Virgo 6th house of, no, I don't need you to do anything for me. Okay. And I can read myself. Right. And if anybody's trying to do something to your aura or get you into something spiritually, be very discerning of that at this time. Be discerning of any woo-woo people that you're listening to at this time, anything you're buying from them, anything you're communicating to with them. And be discerning about the people in your life because Pluto and Aquarius, friends, okay, or community members, there could be hidden enemies. And that one's hard. Pluto in the 12th house is hard because you don't see it right away. It's people that all of a sudden snap out of nowhere and you're like, oh, that's actually not a good person for me in my life, right? So there could be some reality checks this week, Pisces, about hidden enemies outside of yourself and also inside of yourself, like some subconscious patterns or subconscious beliefs. The 12th house is the subconscious, right? Do you have addictions at this time? Are you going through a healing crisis of some sort at this time? Right? The 12th house is healing institutions and healing crisis even. So just being really swim towards your sixth house. Swim towards your Virgo. Be grounded, be practical, discern everything. Because this is like trippy waters. Aquarius is trippiness, trippy waters that you're going through. Okay. And Pisces, let's pull a card. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. I'm going to be singing that to all the Pisces that I talked to this week. Just keep swimming towards the sixth house, being grounded, being judgmental, and discerning of anything that's coming up. If anything seems too good to be true, it probably is this week with Pluto in your 12th house opposite your sun. Just saying. 369, compassion. Have compassion towards yourself that you can be feeling more emotional than usual this week. This can just be like a weird, trippy week for the Pisces. So have compassion for yourself. Do extra self-care this week. Okay. Compassion for yourself and also others. If you find out about someone weird in your life, send them love and compassion. And that's, Pisces in astrology rules compassion. So that's one of your gifts that you're actually sharing with the world as a Pisces. 369, the universe shares compassion with you. Okay, we've gone through all the signs. And Taco Phillips, thank you so much. I love your name. Or Taco Fillings, thank you so much for your super chat, 2222. That's been another one of the numbers I've been seeing a lot lately. You say, what does the cosmos have in store for me? May 14th, 1987, 3:26 a.m. Okay, well, I'm not going to bring up your whole chart because I don't have that on my slide deck, but you are a Taurus, right? So what does the universe have in store for me with this Sun-Pluto opposition? Taco, you're having, as a Taurus, this Pluto right on your midheaven. So if you didn't listen to what I talked about for the Tauruses yet, go back when I'm finished this video. I'll put the timestamps in the comments because it's actually very intense for the Tauruses right now. This is about us with this Sun-Pluto opposition up-leveling in our professional lives, in our legacy, in our purpose, in ways that might feel uncomfortable. Oh, you're a Pisces rising, Sag moon. Oh, that's an interesting combination. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. I'm going to be singing that to all you Pisces. Let me tune in intuitively for you, Taco, and pull some cards as well. Interesting, Taco, that I feel, I have a funny time calling you Taco, but as soon as I connect intuitively to you, I feel a mother. So I don't know if your mom is crossed over on the other side, or if this is a woman on the other side. It feels like a family member that is crossed over that has a motherly energy over you. Could have been an aunt, could have been a grandmother. But I feel like they weren't that old when they passed away. That's interesting that they're coming through. They're making me feel that you might be working really hard on something, or you have plans to work really hard on something, that you have something important that you're going to be doing, and that you are protected by divine feminine energy all around you, by this mother energy and spirit all around you. So you're asking, what does the cosmos have in store for me? Makes sense because you're a Taurus with Pluto right on your midheaven. There's a job that you have to do, and there's something very important that you have to do that I feel like probably in your heart and your soul. And your women, and I'm getting chills when I say that, on the other side are really in particular supporting you through that, because it feels like maybe you're like really in your masculine energy at the moment, or there's something very important that is going to be done where they're wanting you to know that they're protecting you, they're softening you. You say, don't mind my hard exterior, my feelings are softer. Yeah, so interesting because the divine feminine is supporting you at this time. And let me pull a card for you, Taco. Infinity. Oh, you say familial witches on my mother's line. Cool. Look at how cool this card is. Infinity with a rainbow, an infinity symbol. So I'm feeling the women on your ancestral line saying, you are connected to oneness. You are more intuitively gifted than you may know. And if you haven't already developed your intuitive senses, that would be something good for you to look into. Okay. And you are infinite. There are infinite potentials ahead. Infinity is a good card. It's like anything is possible. And what is it that you want to create? And focus on the infinite potential in regards to whatever it is you're creating. So thank you so much, Taco Fillings, for the super chat, and I hope that resonated. Okay, we have come to the end. This is the end, my dearest friends. I'm really feeling all the songs today. So yeah, very intense energy with the Sun-Pluto opposition. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but I will say it again. Please do extra self-care out there. Please be gentle and soft with yourself out there with this energy. Some people that are more in the unconscious way of living can be very easily triggered this week, and again, possibly going through an identity crisis. So don't take any of that personally. Be very strong with your boundaries, as we got in the cards at the beginning of this video. And I love you guys so, so much. This is an aspect that is challenging, but it does bring great empowerment and great revealing for all of us in the collective and personally. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you all so, so much. And if you'd like a personal astrology reading with me, those are available at the link in the description box of this video. All my socials, all my links are at the description box of this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. And I love you all so, so much. Happy Sun-Pluto opposition week. Mwah! Bye, everybody.